if Midwick comes back with the guys, he'll be like, "Oh, we finally took this world over." They're like, "What? You've been here?"
All right, I think I've gathered up those who are at Legius's.
Well, we need to tell our owner, and what's his name, sniveling bastard, the drunk bastard. Don't we?
Are you going to go speak to him?
Shouldn't we?
You haven't seen him since the match.
Frig that guy then. Hold on. No, Magnus needs to go. No, Magnus has to go speak to him.
Okay. We'll say Ashoka's not too far behind, but you're able to go back.
Not
you're
the
able to
sniveling
go.
bastard.
Yeah, you're able to go back to the apartments. Ashoka says he'll go stop in to see how Phineas is doing,
Okay.
and you knock on the door, and you can hear a low conversation going on in the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Magnus, when you arrived back at the apartments, because you were at the Ludis, it's like two separate buildings, you noticed that there was this black fancy coach. So Ashoka and Magnus are going to go back to the master's apartments. There's this black fancy coach with 6 black horses pulling it that is parked outside of the master's apartments.
Magnus, be on your best behavior. Opportunity is knocking, and this is what it looks like.
There
Yeah,
are
sounds like we need to get the hell out of here.
Imperial soldiers that are manning the coach and guarding the street. They actually stop you, but one of their lieutenants comes over. He says, "No, they belong." Like they know who you are.
Okay. Don't really acknowledge them and move forward.
Okay.
Going to the apartments. We need to go tell them. We need to tell the master about the invite. He has to be coming along.
No,
The
Mr.
the
Pennywise
lieutenant.
is indisposed.
The two of you should be on your best behavior.
Always. We are very proud citizens of the Imperium.
Yeah, I serve well.
The Grand Duke of Stygia is inside. He is speaking with Sir Prentice, along with a number of magisters.
Does this guy know what's going on?
This lieutenant,
Yeah, or is he just like...
he is making sure that you, are on your best behavior.
Okay.
The Grand Duke, you know who he is. If you recall, he's in charge of the war on behalf of the Imperium of conquering the continent of Stygia.
Mm-hmm.
Where the slaves came from the other campaign, in that area, the area of the world that is totally not under the yoke of the Imperium yet. He is a powerful man, rumored to one day or very soon, upon his successful conquests of the continent, it is expected that he receive the title of Victory Prince.
And have a meeting with the Emperor.
For some reason, the Grand Duke has come to your master's apartments and is speaking to Sir Prentice Pennywise.
All right. Make our way inside.
Okay. There are guards inside, guards with muskets.
Magnus goes to Ashoka. Follow my lead, okay? I got this.
Please don't say anything.
Don't worry, I got this.
There are
No
guards
sudden
with
moves. Don't
there
draw
are-
any weapons.
there are guards with
If
muskets.
Gentlemen.
They just eye you like you're up to something in your own place, but they let you pass. You soon find yourself at the door, and you can see there are 2 guards there, a couple of magistrates. These are people who are effectively judges in the Imperium. They're old men, but they look nervous. And you do see that there is a large man. He's got some symbols that might make him more like an officer of the law as opposed to a judge. You do notice that he has slung over his back a set of manacles.
Many sets? Just the one?
Just the one.
Like it would be a human-sized or medium humanoid creature set of shackles.
They are medium-sized manacles. As you take a look at them, he looks at you.
Ashoka is going to make himself a cup of tea and then stand in the hallway to admire the show.
My lord, but we won! We won a victorious battle! And it'll be a cost of some weapons and well, some gladiators. It's written right into their oath, you see. I gotta summon up.
I'm not in the room, just outside, waiting.
Yep.
Just grab it, pull it,
lean
against the wall.
Magnus followed Ashoka.
It's almost like I want to go watch Christopher Walken speak before.
The thing that you do here is you put the uncomfortable hunk of metal in your ass, and then you have the weird cadence where you do the thing. There's some. I'm missing something. I'm missing. It's like
Sadistic
2/3
avenging
of the.
angel
There's like
or a
2 more
resurrect-
little like speech aspects. There's the odd cadence, over-enunciating the first syllable.
Right.
You're not doing it right, son.
I know it's wrong.
You should be like me when I'm doing Conan.
Where it's just like I don't know who that is, but it's Magnus.
Thank you. I have a hankering.
And it can only be cured by more cowbell. That
You hear silence. You see here, the problem that I'm having is that you are not worthy.
Oh shit!
You mother fucking simpering whelp. You brought dishonor to me. And who's going to get my money? We'll get our money. I promise. He said silence. I would do as he says. I'm not sure you know what is at stake here. I want to have a ludis. And this is my dipping of my toe in waters. There are many warriors out there. And it's very important to our empire and to our emperor that things work as they do. When I left here, left you in charge of my investment, it was several years, and you seemed to do well. I was doing well. I am doing. I suggest that you continue to be quiet while the Grand Duke speaks. Thank you, Noska. Now, if you cannot summon up my motherfucking money, then you're going to have to earn it a different way. Now, sir? Noska must have got a nod because the door opens. The magistrates may come in. The magistrates come in, along with the guy with the chains. He does notice you standing in the hall. He doesn't. First things first. I must get everything into order. We cannot leave these messes behind, Noska. Here are documents that explain how you have broken the rules, the laws, how you have misused and misspent my investment. That you have been negligent. But I saved the ludis. These documents are first-hand accounts of those creditors from whom you enacted and took out loans against property that did not belong to you. My property. Do you think I am out there conquering nations to come back here as a penniless pauper? No. That's not the way it's going to go. I'm going to enjoy the reports. The reports, sir? What do you mean? I'm going to personally enjoy the reports that I receive from my followers about how you fare in the pits.
Someone's getting bitch slapped!
I believe that there is sufficient evidence enough here, magistrates, to prove that this worm, simpering as he is, has committed, well, close to high treason in my book. You notice that the magistrates are looking at it and just bobbing their heads up and down. The door is slightly open at this point. They're not even looking at the evidence. It's kind of like, well, if the Grand Duke says so, then it is. If we get our money back, my money, my property. You are just an employee, no longer. You're a slave. And I expect before noon tomorrow that this slave, and you notice that they're like stamping some things, and they force his handprint onto one paper and into some ink. They've already clamped him into chains. That you have sworn the gladiator's oath. I may not have time to attend his trial, but I assume that it is simply a foregone conclusion. Is that not correct, magistrates? And the three magistrates are bobbing their heads up loud, up and down. Good.
Magnus is eating ice cream.
Then before
It's
noon
ice cream
tomorrow, you will swear the gladiator's oath. And you shall be a gladiator until death.
Magnus or Ashoka is thinking to himself, all right, so 24 hours, maybe 48.
All this
Wrist
business.
fight.
I told you that my blood would get up. It's never a dull trip to come back to Vin and Vossa. Those two brothers have always struggled, have they not, Noska? Yes, as you say, Grand Duke. Master! Somebody gag him.
Just this snarkiest grin of satisfaction. Just the tiniest, snarkiest, yeah.
I suppose someone has to look after what remains of my investment until Noska here and some accountants untangle this mess. I will do my best, Master. Of course you can. I never called into doubt your ability, Noska. Theodore, is it? Yes, Grand Duke. You're temporarily in charge of the Conclave of Crimson Sands. Oh, I know the business in and out. If I'm to find that you were complicit in any of these deals that Prentice put his name to, my complicity, inconceivable for me to be complicit in such things. There's sort of a haruff from Noska. No. Perhaps we will have to change our strategy on having an investment in Gladiatoria. Maybe this is the sort of thing one does in their retirement, Noska. I would not know, sir. Perhaps. You do have a very long war ahead of you. Yes. And good help is hard to find. I expect in the morrow for there to be a preliminary report of the damages and how much this ludis owns. Oh, and do tell the Baron that I will consider, given light of current circumstances, a sale. Of course, Master. I am well acquainted with his house hin. Qued.
Ashoka is going to stand against the wall, making space for people to leave through the hallway, where he just sort of stands there, kind of.
All of this activity has gotten me peckish. A bit of a hankering.
Holding his cup of tea.
Yes, I know several good restaurants nearby that will cater to the best. Lead on, Noska. I trust you. Sometimes I think that Voss has won over Vin. It is a shame the city was once a glorious place. The Grand Duke, Helmut Van Imp, walks out into the hallway and sees Magnus and Ashoka standing in the hallway. There's Noska that's collecting up some of the reports. What should we do with him? I suggest that you drag him to the dungeons of whatever, wherever the gladiators are housed in the city. No one is to feed him or speak to him upon pain of death or orders from, I suppose, Theodore here. He stops for a moment. You notice that he glances towards Ashoka. He doesn't say anything to Ashoka. But then he turns to Magnus. Magnus, I was at your contest yesterday. I must say, if I had 1,000 soldiers like you, the conquest of Stygia would be done by now. 100? Maybe the rest of the year.
Quick question. What does Magnus think about fighting for this guy? Although he hates the Empire.
Yep.
Battle. War.
Therein lies the conundrum. What does Magnus think of fighting this guy? This guy is conquering people.
But they're using guns and stuff like that, right?
Yep. They're using guns, but
using all the things.
Using all the things. They basically have conscripted soldiers from nearby kingdoms, not given them guns, and they are fighting some of the war in older fashions.
Okay.
There are no imps currently in the Master's area because the the Grand Duke had his own imps sweep the place beforehand. So there's a bunch of like dead imps that will be found by servants later. Dead imps and birds that were basically murdered before he
There'll
showed
be
up.
spell components everywhere.
Right. All the critters were murdered before he came into this place. That's how serious this dude is.
I like him.
So,
It was okay. Go ahead.
Ashoka's just watching very closely to make certain that Magnus isn't about to say something rude.
Pale blue eyes piercing through you. He's looking for a response to what he said about if he had 100 soldiers like you, it would take him a year to conquer a continent.
Yeah. It was an honor to fight where I was. I hope our blood was a good show. It was a worthy fight, worthy battle. If I could train your men, that would be fantastic.
Your ludus is very fortunate to have one such as this. It is just too bad that I will likely spend the dotage of my years putting down rebellions on the Corsican Peninsula.
This is in this world, so basically fighting my people.
Yeah, he's saying your people, while they've been conquered, are not.
They're
your
not,
people, they don't make
just
good subjects.
Stay conquered.
And he's saying after he's conquered a continent, he's already foreseeing that he's probably going to have to spend like his retirement years putting down your people's rebellions. Fierce people. One must appreciate that they don't know they've been conquered.
Sometimes metal is always going to be metal. It is best to reshape it, not just break it.
Yes. You've given me an idea, boy.
I'm glad I was service.
Noska, make a note. To train up a special unit of Corsicans. Give them the blood that their metal demands, and bend it so it does not break. He just... Noska comes toddling after him with a bunch of things. He's making notes.
Magnus is nodding. He's like, yeah. As he's he looks back at Chuck.
Sir Prentice Pennywise has been sapped. He's kind of going, like he's been bumped with the head.
Ashoka's going to give Magnus a reassuring nod, like he did a good, like you didn't fuck up. Yeah.
As he's being dragged out while three magistrates are discussing which charge is actually the one that trumps the other, and whether or not they can actually use treason.
Knowledge local?
Sure.
For law stuff?
Knowledge not giving a shit. That's what he gets. How's an idiot?
15. The right person wants him in the place. He's going there no matter what. Is kind of, I think, the...
Sir Prentice Pennywise played a dangerous game betting with his master's property when that master is a guy who's in charge of like 100,000 troops or more.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just the king's property. I'll pretend it's mine and yeah.
Bet it.
That kind of, yeah. He's basically, his death sentence is gladiatoria.
Better learn to fight real good, boy.
All right, so we're gonna move Sir Prentice Pennywise into Magnus's gladiators because he's technically now. It is your job.
He's a trainee.
It is your job to have him fight until death. You don't know how long he has until death needs to be assured, but you have
said
another...
no food.
Yeah, for right now, they're trying to figure out what to do with him. Basically, they want him desperate by the time he's supposed to take his gladiator's oath.
I think it's a one-on-one challenge. Him on a goat versus bull on his bull.
Watching the so as he's leaving, soldiers are leaving. You can hear the flitting of wings. Like what the fuck? You know, like you don't see where the wing flitting is coming from, but that is leaving. That is also leaving as well as the Grand Duke leaves. Theodore Esteban is just watching from the hallway with his cup of wine in his hands. He gives you sort of like a thumbs up, like a cheer with his wine glass.
Ashoka will cheer back with his tea.
Okay. You boys, why don't you step into my office? He says.
Of course.
I was thinking of making Sir Pennywise either a swashbuckler or just a straight up aristocrat.
Well, look at his clothes. Like
it feels like if you're going to be that level of dick and get away with it, like you might actually
survive a fight.
You might have been able to. You had to have been able to survive a few duels. So I think he might be part aristocrat, part swashbuckler. Like I don't think it's going to be just a throwaway kind of.
I think the real question is he a gun user?
No, he's.
All I'm saying is I'd like to see this guy progress because that picture is pretty cool.
Sir Prentice Pennywise, is that what you're saying? Magnus is like, I'll get gladiators from anywhere. Why don't you two step...
What are you, toothless guys? 90? Come here. I got a spot for you.
Theodore, why don't you step into my office, he says.
Of course.
You heard that? Temporary acting master of the ludis of the Conclave of Crimson Sands. It's a mouthful, I know. I wonder if it's going to fit on a plaque.
What time of the day is it, Marty?
We'll say it's like late morning, noon.
This afternoon we have a invitation to the
There's a showboating swashbuckler archetype. Perfect. Perfect, Fox.
There is a meeting with the Fan of Men this afternoon. As the head of the house, you should be informed, I suppose.
What? Informed? Yeah, of course. The Fan of Man is interested in our gladiators? Well,
he wants
Magnus,
us to show up for a celebration and a fight.
Apparently this is the day of contradictions and good surprises. The Fan of Man is arguably one of the richest men in the city, which will make him the richest man in the Empire. He has collections of all gladiators and all gladiator things. Now, I must explain to you that if he has some very weird requirements or he asks you of something, you're going to basically have to give him what he wants. Without question, without mockery. Him and his followers have ways of making gladiators rise and fall. You do not want to be out of favor with a Fan of Man.
Ashoka, give him the fucking letter already. Magnus isn't being rude, he's just Magnus.
Yeah, the Ashoka will show him the magical letter that doesn't say anything. It's magic.
What, did you break it? Why did you break it?
What is that noise? Yesterday. He goes over and he opens up this closet and he hears this whining from within. What is that?
Knowledge planes? I don't have planes. Knowledge arcana? Knowledge local?
Planes.
Magnus looks at it. What are you?
8.
Alright, it's this little tiny thing with wings. It's got a little bearded devil face. It looks like one of his wings was ripped off. It's not that big.
Knowledge, not nature. Shit, I don't have it.
And it like there's this greasy mark going into the closet. It's sort of cuddled up like this.
Would not dungeoneering work?
I need a good name for an imp.
One Dwingus.
I'm gonna call it Nim. Thanks, Nemesis.
What's the name of the Nyx? I understand.
Yep.
Nosy.
What is that doing here? What is it?
Magnus is picking it up by its wing. What are you doing?
It looks like it's not like fighting in fighting shape anymore. It might even be disabled. It has one of its wings completely ripped off. You could see its wing is lying nearby.
No, you got fucked up. What, are you a fighter? You lost, huh?
Ashoka is thinking to himself, that might be a good replacement for a bird. Oh, it talks. Maybe not.
Nim. Nim sits, he puts him on the table, grabs his wing and tries to put it on. Hey, can you put that wand on it? Maybe it'll work.
No.
Ah, fuck.
Mercy.
It will not work.
Have mercy on him.
Where are you from, Nim?
I'm from... I came from Pit.
Why are you in the closet, Nim?
I'm not in closet anymore, but I was in closet hiding.
From who?
A greater Nim, a greater imp. Lots of them. They come in with the big important man that came here. He had
How
too many
many?
of them. Oh, at least a dozen. They did horrible things to them. Horrible things. Have mercy.
Drakester has evidence that is slowly increasing in value or count. Sorry. That is such a nerd joke. Evidence plus plus.
Have mercy. Do not kill them. Them not do anything wrong.
No, I like you. You're fine. Don't worry. You're not gonna die. I won't kill you. You might die, but not for me.
He smiles at that. Perfect little rows of teeth.
Yeah, do you want like chicken or
Your
something?
grow back.
What's
Wait, what?
Your parts.
No.
Hmm.
I was cold here. I was not summoned. Cold means I'm here. Like, actually here. I don't
told
remember
you?
much of what happened before. It was very warm, I think.
Why are you here?
I was here to do bidding.
By who? Who are you working for? And what does he do?
Imperials.
You're spying on us.
No. I'm not spy. I'm watcher.
Who does Nim talk to?
Nim talks to... Not supposed to say.
That's right, Foxfire.
Still better than the bird. Yeah, I'm thinking bird is
So-
lunch, and then we're gonna
Bird is-
feed Phineas his own familiar.
Nim go to place where all of us come from, and we report what we see, and then we get assigned either luxury or new job. I have been watching the ludis for some time. I really enjoyed your fight, Magnus. Great hero, Crimson Sands.
See, he knows the hero when he sees one. Yeah,
So
good
you've
him.
seen many things, yes?
No, I do not see lots of things. I see what I'm supposed to see. You see, the thing is, it's just Nim's job.
sorry?
I actually, that's really nice. I like that.
Yeah.
But now Nim is broken.
He's looking.
My wing, I cannot fly back to tower. Oops, I mean the place where Im come from.
Where's the tower?
It is not too far away, but it is still far. I cannot walk back there. I need to fly.
There's magic that can make you fly.
Is there? Yes. I think I saw a wizard do it once. Yes, I did. Will you make me fly so I can go and report what I have seen?
Who do you report to?
The thing in the tower.
How often do you report?
Whenever Nim does job.
Which is?
Whenever Nim does job. Nim has been at this for a very long time.
Nim
But he
wouldn't
likes
happen
coming
to have
here.
seen any...
Nim always asks to come to Conclave.
Conclave of the Crimson Sand.
Yes,
Nim wouldn't happen to have seen any of the awful crimes committed by Pennywise, would he?
Crime? Nim no crime. Nim knows what he see. Nim is not judge. No, not allowed to judge. But yes, crime. Lots of crime.
I don't know if I like this little creature. Although if it cannot fly back, then it cannot tell of our secrets.
Ashoka wants to keep this creature around because he's pretty certain that he can use evidence from that creature to get rid of Theodore whenever he wants to, because Theodore was in on Pennywise's bullshit. And
Okay,
if this
so
thing...
Theodore is going over to grab a broom in the corner of the room.
Okay,
Nim like Magnus. Nim see Magnus fight.
Magnus is taking Nim and putting him on his shoulder.
Magnus,
You, I'm gonna keep you. You're a nice pet. Yeah, I
you-
could use this. Yeah,
am I Magnus's familiar?
familiar. What the fuck, familiar?
Familiar means loyal friend. Please don't
Wait,
let the
loyal
ball
friend.
drunkard get me. He's going to kill him.
All right, Hero Magnus is gonna claim you now.
You're a moron.
I don't like it. People spying on us, it cannot happen. It will not happen under my watch, says Theodore. That vile creature, you will tell us who you're spying for.
The thing I speak to.
come now, Theodore. It can't get away. It has a missing wing.
If Nim cannot go and speak to thing, then Nim is not watching you. He is not telling what he watch.
Ashoka's going to come over for a whispery chat with Theodore.
I could not. I tried to fight them, but they were greater imp. They're like bigger than me, Magnus. There were like 6 of them.
You hear him talking about the other imps, yes?
Yes.
Other people are also spying.
Well, of course, we should conjure these things all the time. I'm surprised you don't even have one. Although the next snake I see, I'm surely going to try to chop its head off.
He looks at you to see if you're going to get annoyed.
No, you go right ahead.
Okay.
It would be good to have a guard against them, at least an early warning sign. To know if our conversations are being watched.
Nim would normally never actually be like this. I feel naked right now. They did
What do you
something to
mean?
Nim. The greater imps, they said no, and then Nim could not turn invisible.
You can turn invisible when you like.
Well, not
That's
now.
why. That's
I
why
don't know
we
what
couldn't see
happened.
you.
Maybe if I put my wing back on.
Hey, Shoka, can you see if there's magic on him? Magic will not last forever, right?
You notice that the stump has healed. Like the bleeding
Yeah.
from his, and he seems
Yep.
to be gaining more and more vigor as time is going on.
Like the wing?
No, the wing isn't coming back, but
He's healing.
he's fast healing. Yeah.
It will take some time to extract all of the useful information from this being. It would not be good to kill it now. Yes, he casts a detect magic.
I won't have this thing running around.
Give me a diplomacy check as you try to convince him not to.
No, don't kill him yet. He was nerfed, yes. 18.
Fine. He won't be running around, but we're gonna stick him in a cage. He is not allowed out of his cage without supervision.
I'm assuming Phineas has a spare bird cage somewhere.
Yes, fine.
Okay.
As acting master, he's your responsibility.
It's pointed to me?
Yep.
All right. You hear that, Nem? You're my responsibility.
Yes, Nim tried to make himself fix.
He's still trying to put his wing back on.
It is not staying, Magnus. How do you put your limbs back on?
I can't. I need greater magic.
Theodore?
He's eyeing the imp suspiciously from across the room. He still has his
that-
broom in his hands.
Now that you are the acting master, what is our financial status?
Hey, we're fucked, is what he says.
From what I gathered from afar, now I did not keep track of... I kept track of my own ledger of things of what I actually saw, but I did not see what was truly transpiring, and I believe that Sir Prentice Pennywise's debts were going way beyond what was conceivable. This whole thing about this ludis, well, I think there were several sets of books by several different people. That's as much as I'm going to say. But it might have served multiple purposes. I was not ever quite certain of it, but there was all sorts of slave trading going on under the guise of a ludus. We didn't see even a fraction of the slaves and people that were being moved. The numbers are very big, and we are but a small piece of it.
Well, this piece is going to require more gladiators.
Yes. You could go down to the marketplace and get some of the vagabonds. You know, the ne'er-do-wells, the undesirables. Just pad up our numbers a bit. Try not to make sure that they're not too diseased. 100 gold coins would do.
The quality of slaves that you're going to get for 100 gold coins or less is going to be very low.
Gladiator laundry. Yes. Do we have a fight record right now, or is it not kept that way?
Yep.
What's our record?
Number wins, losses, ties. It really depends which league.
Okay.
It is divided by league. You guys currently...
Sorry, I'm wondering, like, because we would be in a building phase right now, so we should expect lots of losses and a lot of wins.
You're in a rebuilding phase. Exactly. Yeah, most of the gladiators that you have are currently registered in the Sandal League. Bull is a blooded tier Sandal League. Sona and Fleece and what was Zane? Zor are all apprentice Sandal League. Sandal League is one step up from the hell that is the City League, which is where they put all common criminals to death, like they just sort of stick.
Well,
them.
we'd be getting from the City League, right?
Yep.
If we're going to hire, we're
Yep.
going to get.
Oh, or even like you would be getting untested, untrained.
We're getting bum fights, is what we're.
Yes.
You just tell him there's a bottle of alcohol somewhere hidden, and you just give him a hammer.
Here you go. We currently have, 8? We have 8 slots for gladiators and 8 slots for tempi. I believe Magnus is still one. That solves our problems a little bit, is what he says, kind of nervously. Magnus
is one by choice. You're gonna have to by my choice.
which is a rare thing.
I'm doing it.
And
I'm doing it for my men.
Most honorable of you, Magnus. It is something that I wouldn't even conceive doing for another. However, you are a coarse barbarian, and they are very strong-headed. So, one of our 8, we are lucky enough to have a Magnus, which means that we need to register 7 others if we're going to continue on for the rest of this year as a gladiatorial ludus, and then we do need tempi. Unless you're convinced, Magnus, that you could have all 8 of you going at full force the entire season.
How often do we fight?
No, it's not a thing you want to do.
Like
Yeah,
weekly,
no,
but no. That's a bad idea.
Yeah, no. Don't be silly.
We could try to reduce our numbers, but it was very hard to get a billet of 8, and our resources are strapped. If we only field 4 gladiators, that means one bad thing may have our entire ludus. It is not good. It is not.
Perhaps the fan of man might look kindly upon us in this respect.
Yes,
We might have a hookup of some
he
variety.
is someone that traditionally gives gifts to gladiators. Although if we turn around and sell his gift, he may not like what... Oh, we're fucked.
No, we're not going to sell the fan of man's gifts. We want his favors.
Yes, procure his favors. I have a feeling I have much work to do here. Although, I have often wondered what happens inside of the Palace of the Fan of Man. No, I unfortunately have to go through the ledgers, to go through every line of that sneak, of that thief, of that liar's books. Yes, I'm going to endeavor to be a better master than he ever was.
He goes to pour a glass of wine, and then he pauses for a moment.
Oh, just a touch.
Ashoka nods internally. Your downfall.
Get wing back, get invisibility back. Be good.
I don't know.
Of course, Nim. It is always a possibility, but you'll have to be good. You'll need to earn it, of course.
Oh, Nim is very good imp. Very good imp.
Nice, Nim.
Yes, Nim very nice. Nice for imp. The other imps not good. Their horns are ugly.
You have such lovely horns.
Yes. I'm so glad they did not fall off.
Of course.
Nim see other imp die.
Where are they?
They got stabbed.
Their bodies.
Nim can show. Just fly over. I mean, walk. Is that what Nim do now? He crawl.
He's looking down off this table like it's an impossible thing.
We're gonna get him like a G.I. Joe parachute.
G.I. Joe, American. Just no.
Big boss is cheering for Nim. All right.
All right, so you go to Phineas's quarters. You abscond one of his heavier cages.
We're going to take one of his alchemy flasks. We're going to throw some either alcohol or pickling juice in there, and we're going to chuck the imp wing inside.
Nim's wing.
This will keep it fresh.
Yes. Wait, fresh for what?
When we have the power to reattach it, of course. Once Nim has been good enough.
Yes, Nim, very good. Is this cage for Nim?
Yes.
Nim doesn't like cages.
Think of it as a home.
Nim like home? Nim never have home before.
We will, I'll take one of Phineas's pillows.
Is that Nim's pillow?
This is Nim's pillow for Nims.
Ah, Nim's pillow. Nim never had pillow before.
Stick it in
Now
the
you have
cage.
pillow. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, he crawls inside the cage, feels the pillow.
Nim can keep secrets under pillow.
Of course.
Yeah.
Only the special fairies can see them when they're under the pillow.
Is that Nim's perch?
Of course.
He starts climbing the cage walls, little tiny claws, and he jumps and he slips a little bit, and then he climbs up onto the perch and sits there.
Nim can see 2 bars from here. Does door stay open?
The door gets closed. Nim has thumbs, I'm assuming.
Yep, the little claws and thumbs.
So Ashoka is going to close the door with the latch, and then nasally a couple of times just go through the opening and closing process.
Okay, Nim watches that.
Open, close. Open, close.
And he smiles up at you if you look at him.
Open, closed.
Everybody who has their own room has their own door.
Yes. Nim does not like human-sized doors.
This is a Nim-sized door.
It is Nim's door.
Nim's door.
No. Magnus, do you like Nim's room?
Yeah, I think you need some weapons, though.
Nim has claws. Nim has tail.
And he kind of like flips around his tail and kind of like a barb kind of comes out, and the barb is actually dripping with poison a little bit, and the barb kind of gets put away, like it's got its own sheath.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we can work with that. Do you want to be
Nim is tail.
gladiator?
No. Nim not gladiator. Nim is imp.
Too bad. But alright. I like it. Very useful.
Maybe someday.
Does Magnus want to be imp?
Yes, Magnus, do you want to be an imp?
Magnus tries to fit his foot in the cage. Let me try!
No, you're not invited.
Yeah. It's your house. It's fine. No, I like it. Yeah. Hey, get you some like some armor. Perhaps get you a helmet. Yeah.
Helmet.
Look at our armor!
Like a small axe, perhaps. Get a small, tiny axe. It'd be so cute. Look at him with that small axe. Do you like hammers?
No. No. How about
me,
get
hammer.
Nim? How about get Nim a wing?
Yes, we'll work on getting Nim a wing, but first
Yeah, we'll need some
Nim
magic for it, yeah.
needs to be very good.
Oh.
Do you know what would make us very happy, Nim?
No.
Knowing what Theodore is up to.
Baldwin.
Yes.
He is very, he likes to watch.
He likes to watch, he likes to drink, and he's reading Legius right now.
You want to make a deal with Nim? Nim likes
friend.
deals.
What kind of deal would Nim like to make?
Nim show you where his personal diary is. You give Nim back his wing.
Wings are very expensive.
Personal diaries are very, delicious.
I am certain that the personal diary will go a long way towards your wing.
Okay, so wing first, then diary.
No, I haven't caught enough for the wing yet.
That's okay.
I mean,
Nim can be patient, he has room.
of course. Just wait till I get Charm Monster, you little fuck. No, he doesn't need Charm Monster. He just needs to. Now that he knows that Theo keeps a personal diary, he just needs to find the personal diary.
You like a deal? Good deal. You're a good imp.
Yes. Nim a good imp. Do we know any flesh crafters?
It would be the Vespers Market where you would go for a thing such as that.
All right, this is definitely a next day type thing or whatever. But
Got it. There's now the Nim plot line.
There's a Nim plot line where he's going to eventually be called Patches or whatever because he'll just have body parts from different.
Nim had very long day. He going to take nap now. You put cage in dark place, please.
Of course.
Hmm.
We'll put the cage in Phineas's closet.
Okay. You can see him bedding down on his pillow.
Nim's pillow of secrets.
Scritches that a little bit.
Yes. Nim have good things here. Nim not have to share with other imps. Nim better than Nim. Yes, that is a good Nim. Very good Nim. But Nim lose wing. Can't turn invisible. How do I fix? They will fix for me. They want secrets.
Phineas, are you coming or not?
He was in the room. Actually, you brought him into Phineas's
we're
closet.
in Phineas's closet. We're in his room.
Nix is going crazy when he sees him in one of his cages. But he won't go into the closet. Phineas kind of wakes up from his bed like, what? No, I don't think I can. It sounds too stressful. I have things to do here, he says. He waves his hand towards a bunch of, like, dirty bottles and things.
Can you make any more potions for us? We're likely gonna go and fight.
Yes.
Anything you can provide.
Just take them. Just take them, is what he says. Here, he mixes a couple of things, sloshes together.
And?
It looks like a shield, an expeditious retreat, and a long arm. Unless it's just maybe the shield and the long arm. He'll keep the expeditious retreat for himself.
No, he's got a pounding headache. He doesn't care. He's going to give a shield, expeditious retreat, and a long arm. Here you go.
That's awesome. He's got really, really good gladiator extracts for some reason.
That's the point. He can make these for us.
I just go. Just go. What is it that you put in my closet?
Oh, it's Nim. He's looking for a dark place to rest. He's had a long day. He's missing a wing.
Yes, Nix, I know there's something in the closet. He goes over, he moves a heavy bench up against the door to the closet so that it can't quite get out. All right. And good luck with the fan of man. I hear that he is different.
Oh, I think everything will turn out wonderfully. It's been such a good
Fat
day so
man.
far.
Fat man.
Yes, he is also called by the common people a fat man. Because the common people are common, Nix.
Okay, Magnus has took those potions.
If you do have a headache, Phineas, you might want to talk to Nim for a few minutes. Get to know him. He's not too bad.
Nuh-uh.
Just smile at Nix.
Fuck you. Snake man, liar.
Pants on fire.
Did I hear a bird speaking?
Uh-oh.
I like how the barbarian blames the
This is Peter. Funny. All right.
People for the eating of tasty animals.